Hello community, PlayerIGN here. I'm making this video to showcase how my fog of war system works. And I know I've talked about fog of war and then it's make such a big deal out of it because it kind of is pretty important, right? Because not a lot of FPS games actually has this, but it does actually work, right? And Valorant's a good example of this. Turns out it was actually a lot easier to implement than I thought, but or at least like a simple version, a basic version. So let me show you how it looks like, or 3 iterations of it. Okay, so here we have 2 different characters, 2 different teams. Team Orange, and then I'm on Team Red. Okay. Once I go inside this box, your character, the player, he's still visible, but other people cannot see him. And that's the point, right? So how Fog of War will actually work is, imagine this is a wall right here, right? Normally what happens is I can see through this wall. Your computer will always know that this guy is behind the wall. But you, the player, can't see that because you only see this red block in front of you. But your computer always knows this guy is behind the wall. And so what Fog of War actually does is, imagine we put this cube right here. You won't know that he's behind the wall because you never saw him in the first place. And so what it actually is it's basically removing that information from your computer or from your version of the game. It's called the client. But this is just like a demo. This is not actually Fog of War in the making. Like, this is a version of Fog of War that is still cheatable. And so what we do instead, what it actually looks like behind the scenes, without, removing the actual characters, this is what it actually looks like. This is actually what it looks like with multiplayer implemented, with netcode, right? So what happens is, I'm running through this block. Ooh, something's wrong. Give me a second. Oh, that's right. Okay, you aren't supposed to see that yet. That's like the next step after that. Okay. So this is actually what you're supposed to see behind the scenes. Instead of the character being removed, this is what's actually happening. So as your character is running, imagine like this is a wall, right? Imagine a wall's going through here. I went through the wall and behind the wall. And now what this guy sees, what your enemy sees, is he never gets information updated about where you are inside this block. So I could be moving left and right, and he will never know where I'm moving, where my actual position is behind this wall. Right? And then the moment I walk outside, he gets updated information. Right? Now he knows I'm here. Right? I move inside, he doesn't know. I move outside, now he does know. He doesn't know. Now he does know. He doesn't know where I am. I could be jumping, he wouldn't even know that. I jump out, boom. Right? But this isn't really, but here's the thing. This is still cheatable though, right? This is pretty good, but it's still cheatable. Why is that? Because once you run into this fog of war, the enemy knows where your last location is. You wouldn't want that. So what I also did is, once you run into fog of war, the game will automatically teleport your character beneath the map for the enemy player. So not only will he never know where you are once you're inside fog of war, he will not know your last location because you disappeared. Where did you disappear to? To a different part of the map. And in this case, I placed the character beneath the map. And so this is an interesting solution to, wall hacks, and it was actually a lot easier to implement than I thought. I do not know the performance costs and the optimization stuff that I will have to deal with. But I think I got the gist of it. I got the gist of how Fog of War works. Now the next challenge, the next big brain challenge that I would probably have to deal with is the, lag, right? For example, let's make my ping really high. Let's say 300, right? 300 ping. Let's try to play again. See what happens. Okay, so I'm playing on 300 ping. See how my fog of war system will operate. Right, you can already see the delay, right? The left screen is the actual character, and the right screen is what the enemy sees. You can already see the huge delay that's going on. You see that? It takes forever for this guy to actually pop out on the enemy screen. Right? You have to wait almost a full second before you can see the guy leaving the wall. And so by the time that happens, check what happens. Boom. Right? That's pretty bad. So I will have to like, understand how to deal with this. Um Maybe I will not have fog of war like really close, like as in near fog of war. Maybe fog of war will only work for places that are too far away from you. For example, one idea that I thought about is, let's take Erangel's map for example. I can show you guys a better example. Right? Erangel, because most of my viewers are PUBG, so they much more intuitive for them to understand how it operates. Okay, let's get an Erangel map. Let's color code this. Right? So imagine all of these red places, all of these point of interest, school, Rozak, apartments, Yasnaya, boatyard, ruins, all of these are essentially isolated in their own little bubbles. And also Pachinki, right? Classic Pachinki. So what that means is only Pachinki players can see other Pachinki players, only school players can see other school players, only Yasnaya players can see other Yasnaya players, and only Rozak players can see other Rozak players. Everybody outside of their own point of interest is irrelevant. They will not be loaded, they will not be told about to you in your clients, right? The game will not tell your computer where the other players are. They will only tell you players that are in your playing zone. So I could do it that way instead of like on literally every single wall. Because if I play Fog of War on every single wall, that's gonna take a huge hit to your optimization, right? It's gonna be super laggy, I reckon. And also not really fun to play with high ping. But Valorant's able to do it because they have 120 tick rate servers. So, Valorant's on a different league. They can do it that way. Plus, Valorant's also a smaller game. But we're doing a Battle Royale game, right? We're doing a Battle Royale like. I'm not doing BR, I'm doing more of like a mod that in my opinion is super underrated. So but it's still BR. But the point is, because it's on a bigger map, because there's so many point of interests, I could essentially isolate everybody's knowledge to their own respective point of interests. And then when they actually leave the point of interest, and for example they go into like a flat field, like anywhere here, right? Essentially anywhere that's green, right? It could be here, it could be here, it could be all of this green area, it could be all of this. If they enter like a flat green field, then wall hacks kind of don't really help you that much, right? Obviously it will always help you to a degree, but the advantages are minimized because you're essentially running on a big flat field to the point that a normal average player is going to see you anyways, and you won't need wall hacks at that point. And at that point, what's the point of spending money on cheats? I mean, right? Because half the reason of combating cheating isn't just to like literally remove every cheat, it's just to de-incentivize it. So this is de-incentivization, is that a word? I don't know. But it's a method to de-incentivize players from buying cheats. Because it's not worth it, right? If you can already see players anyways from that far. And so, that's a possible solution. But I also got my own solution in how I will combat wallhack cheating in close quarters combat. I'm not going to talk about it just yet because it's such an early prototype feature. I actually already tested it before I made Fog of War, which just to prove like, wow, Fog of War is actually a lot easier than I thought. But or at least a basic version of it. A complex version of it like Valorant is way too hard to do. I think that's out of my skill range. On top of that, I'm like an amateur, so but I think yeah, I think I have a solution to it, but it's probably gonna be a solution that people are not gonna like a lot. So I will have to work on how I present it. I present the solution. I think I can present it in an interesting sci-fi way. Now, I use the word sci-fi, and I know like PUBG players, they don't like anything sci-fi related, especially with Callisto Protocol was really weird. I don't know how that was even a PUBG story game. But what we could do is not do space sci-fi. We could use hard science sci-fi for that kind of explanation. I think you'll see what I mean once I implement the solution. But that's the update video. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you in the next update video. It was super surprising that I was able to implement Fog of War, but now I'm able to move on to working on game modes and a map, which is surprising. So, you know, there we go. So far I have any cheat for recoil and shooting, and not have recoil for wall hacks. So, you know, we're actually making pretty good progress so far. So yeah, see you next time.